Papua New Guinea is a small country in the middle of the Pacific, but yet it became a global leader on climate change and rainforests because of the vision of one man, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. I'm Kevin Conrad, and I was raised in the rainforest in Papua New Guinea. There are so many stories I could tell you about Grand Chief Sir Michael. We were walking along the beach one day and just witnessed the destruction. There were trees that had been there for hundreds of years, had actually started to fall into the sea. You know, our memories are being washed away. Our land is being washed away. Our food is being destroyed. And it was walking along that beach that we started to understand sea level rise was beginning to destroy the food supply of the local communities. And that was a problem for Grand Chief. It was around that time when the World Bank and a large environmental group made the Prime Minister a proposal. They proposed a one-time payment to stop the logging industry. Grand Chief understood inherently that the value of his rainforests were worth more, but also the role of the forests in climate was worth more. The Prime Minister was under a lot of pressure, but in spite of this, he understood that the proposition was wrong, and he said no. After years of working together on this issue, it all came to a head in Copenhagen at the UN Climate Conference. And we discovered that there were a few leaders in a very small room trying to come up with a solution. And in the room were people like Barack Obama, Angela Merkel, Nicolas Sarkozy. So we knocked on the door and they told us the room was full. Imagine a global climate agreement that didn't include the views of small island states or those with rainforests. But that's exactly what was happening. And Sir Michael heard about it and he said, rainforests have to be part of the solution. Figure out how to get me in that room. So Grand Chief said, listen, make a Papua New Guinea flag, find a spot in that room and plant the Papua New Guinea flag. We went in during a coffee break, we put the flag there, Grand Chief sat, and basically he didn't leave there for 3 days, except for bathroom breaks. He was hungry, we had to sneak him in coffee, we had to sneak him in muffins, but he didn't want to leave. He understood that the minute he walked out that door, that the voice of the rainforest was going to go with him. But that was critically important. What Sir Michael did was he got rainforests for the first time ever in a global climate agreement. And we used that to ensure that rainforests were in the Paris Agreement 5 or 6 years later. Paris Agreement is the first time that rich countries, poor countries, small island states, rainforest countries, everyone's pulling together to solve the global climate disaster that we're facing. And that was exactly what Grand Chief understood way back when he was in a discussion with the World Bank. In Papua New Guinea, there's a tradition of consensus building. And in our area, it's called SANA. The idea is that you bring in warring factions, you bring them together in peace, and you have them sit down together and not leave until they solve their problems. And Grand Chief was a master of this. Who would think that Papua New Guinea would be able to influence the rich and powerful nations? Who would think that Grand Chief, who grew up as a warrior deep in the jungle, would be able to make a change on a global scale? But that's what's happened, and that's the legacy of Grand Chief, of a man who knew something that we're only beginning to realize today, and that's that humanity never has, nor will it ever in the future, survive unless it's in balance with nature.